Joining us right now, Hans von Spakovsky, and Hans, of course, is the co-author of the book Obama's Enforcer, Eric Holder's Justice Department. And, well, Hans, this sort of speaks directly to the Holder Justice Department. You predicted this a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, but, this letter is a classic case of misdirection. The kind of misdirection magicians use to fool an audience. Look, Macon, in 7 pages, goes through and explains why the 2 times that Lois Lerner appeared before the House Oversight Committee, why she didn't waive the Fifth Amendment when she was protesting her innocence. There's not a single mention anywhere in the letter of the most important fact in all of this, which is, after Lerner's last appearance in March of last year, her lawyer said to the media that she had given what he called a lengthy interview to Justice Department prosecutors. Listen, the reason Macon didn't mention that is because in the District of Columbia, the rule is if you talk voluntarily to the government, you cannot in the future assert your Fifth Amendment right. Macon makes no mention of that at all in the entire letter.
So if that's the case, what are the next steps? Is this dead, or can Congress do something, or do they have to wait for a new, friendlier Justice Department to take command to actually pick these up? Are these charges going anywhere?
Well, the House Oversight Committee needs to demand information from the Justice Department as to that lengthy interview that Lerner gave and why, in Macon's letter, he makes absolutely no mention of that. And as you know, he's on his way out. No one who gets nominated to be the new U.S. Attorney should be confirmed until they answer those questions.
What bothers me about this, I think, is the fact that you have the House of Representatives, a body of government, saying, "Look, we're taking a vote here, and we think she should be held in contempt because she didn't answer questions after she took the Fifth. She gave statements, then declared the Fifth, and therefore, because she has not come forward, she should be held in contempt." And one single individual, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, gets to make the decision that this is not worthy of going forward to a grand jury. I mean, as I understand the grand jury process, that's part of what a grand jury does. They weigh the facts and they make a decision based on the evidence that's presented. He won't even let that happen. He won't even let the grand jury consider the possibility.
Well, that's true, and you're absolutely right. The grand jury could be the one to decide whether or not she waived the Fifth Amendment when she was protesting her innocence at those public hearings. But like I said, all of that obscures the most important thing, which is that lengthy interview that her own lawyer said that she gave to the Justice Department. And by the way, he admitted she had given that interview without demanding any immunity from Justice Department prosecutors. That is the most vital fact in all of this. And listen, that's not getting mentioned in any of the media stories. So this misdirection is actually working.
So given that, Hans von Spakovsky, since you cover Obama's enforcer here, Eric Holder, do you believe that there was a very explicit direction given from the Attorney General to the U.S. Attorney in this case, or do you think it's just unspoken but understood?
I think it's clearly unspoken but understood that they did not want her being presented to a grand jury because then she might actually start talking.
So given that, I mean, what do you make of the charges that were brought yesterday against Senator Robert Menendez?
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I haven't had a chance yet to read the indictment, so I'm going to have to see if I think there's real charges here. But don't forget, unfortunately, the Public Integrity section, which would be the section of justice that brought this, they are the same ones that were actually working with Lois Lerner, talking to her about potentially prosecuting some of the conservative groups that were targeted by the IRS.
Wait. The division of the Department of Justice that brought the charges against Menendez is the division of the Department of Justice that's sort of in question because they worked in concert with the IRS? Yeah,
there are emails out there that they were talking, this particular section was talking to Lois Lerner about potentially prosecuting Tea Party groups.
Would I just be cynical if I were to say, look, on one hand, you got this senator, although he's a Democrat, has been a thorn in the side of the president on things like Iran, Cuba, two things the president cares very deeply about. And on the other hand, you have this Lois Lerner person who has been a loyal soldier, who doesn't talk to Congress, who pleads the Fifth, and her matter will not even be taken to the grand jury for consideration. Would it be cynical of me to point out that?
No, it's not cynical. And look, I don't want to minimize the charges against Menendez. They may be very serious, and there may be a basis for it. But very clearly, they had the ability to go to the grand jury here, particularly because Lerner did waive her Fifth Amendment when she talked to the prosecutors at the Justice Department.
Yeah, I mean, even noted, legal minds like Dershowitz have said that indeed he felt like this was a clear-cut case where she had waived by making a statement.
Well, that's not what Ronald Macon thinks on his way out.
I mean, for the setting is, listen, I think it's very important that you brought up that she's already spoken without immunity to investigators, and that right there waives the Fifth Amendment. But here's Alan Dershowitz talking about that statement that I just played, where she claimed innocence right before she pled the Fifth.
Though I'm a liberal Democrat, the Republican congressman is absolutely correct. You can't simply make statements about a subject and then plead the Fifth in response to questions about the very same subject. Once you open the door to an area of inquiry, you have waived your Fifth Amendment right.
All right. So now oversight gets this back, and what do you expect them to do?
I expect them to go in hard against the U.S. Attorney's Office and try to get information about when Lerner talked to them, what statements she made to them, and why that was not considered in this latest letter by Macon and his decision not to go to the grand jury.
All right.
Hans, that's amazing stuff.
Hans von Spakovsky is an attorney, former commissioner for the Federal Election Commission, and also currently at the Heritage Foundation and co-author of the book Obama's Enforcer, Eric Holder's Justice Department. Thank you, Hans.
Hey, Hans.